Well guys, it officially snowed for the first time this year last night, which officially marks the end of the car season. Which means it's officially build season, which I don't think ever stopped for us. This was a busy year, but in the last video you guys saw, we got the Pro car on the ground for the first time. It looks incredible. And well, now the next step of the process is getting the outside chassis sanded so we can get the red gone, because we're sick of looking at it. And we gotta paint the inside so we can get the interior back together and start fitting all the big parts back in before we start plumbing all of it. The last big event of the year is this weekend, and we're all going drifting, all the boys. Jordy, Spoon, Austin, me, we get to go drive together. We're going up to Summit Point for a DOD, which we're so excited about. Hopefully there's no snow up there, but we got a lot of prep to do today because we're very behind. So today we got not a lot of time to shoot a video, but I had a pretty fun idea. So we've been doing a lot of chatting lately about, well, the BRZ FRS chassis, right? Between the wide body car, Spoon's drift car, to all the cars we saw in Japan. And well, I realized we haven't shown much love to my, well, second gen, the S16 Koki, which I'm claiming it. As you guys remember, I bought this thing brand new, my 2022 BRZ Premium. I think it's a Premium, whatever. It comes with a different spoiler, I think that's about it. But I've been daily driving this thing for just about 2 years now, and I've been loving it. And we haven't done much talking about it. Honestly, since I coined it a daily, I kind of stopped looking at it like a project car. I put some wheels on it, put a little lip kit on it. I ripped the front lip off as you do on your daily driver. But this car is honestly incredible, and I want to show you guys that. Put your seatbelt on. The charm is really annoying. So I've always loved the FRS BRZ series, but obviously the first gen was out for a really long time, and I never had like that spark to want to just go out and buy one. But when they came out with the new chassis, and instead of writing the entire package all over, it seems like they took the car and just added a bunch of improvements, and I was sold, and I kind of had to have one. If you guys remember, these were really hard to get when they first came out. Like, they were pre-sold forever, given it was during the COVID times. But essentially, if you didn't pre-order it, you didn't get one. And I was lucky enough that someone handed me off their allocation so I can go get one. So I flew down to North Carolina, picked this thing up and drove it straight home, and it was awesome. Taking a flight down to North Carolina for the day to pick up a new car. And I always feel this crazy need to like justify a new car and make this crazy excuse for it. But honestly, why am I getting this? Why am I buying this new car? Because I wanted it. Here's my new 2022 BRZ Premium, 6-speed. Boom. To be honest, I kind of wanted the GR86, but BRZ, GR86, they are both incredibly hard to get right now because they've been so sold out that whatever one popped up first, I was gonna grab. And well, I'm a Subaru guy now. Really thought it was awesome. I think it looks beautiful. I think it really holds the driver experience that like the S chassis kind of did, right? It's a cheap, affordable, two-door sports car, we can call it a sport. It's a sports car, right? This is just a modern rendition of it. Cars have always been known for having good styling and handling really well, but the original generation of these cars had the FA20, which was kind of a dog of a motor. It was so disrespectfully slow in my eyes that without having to put some forced induction behind it, I couldn't do it. So when they came out with the new drivetrain for this thing, which was the FA24, not only having more displacement but higher compression, I was like, okay, maybe I'll get around with this. And honestly, the second gen looks cool as when these things first came out, no one really knew what they were. And I swear to God, this thing got way more attention from like 45 to like 60-year-old dudes. It was the weirdest thing ever. Every time I'd go anywhere, like, yo, is that a Porsche? Is that a McLaren? Like, they didn't know what it was. I was like, bro, it's got a Subaru badge on the thing. But I'll take it as a compliment. God damn, dude, the Ford Ranger is inside that thing. Look at it.
You can't park there.
How did you do that? Oh, look at another one added to the mix.
Oh my God.
Look at it. Look at that.
Oh shit.
Oh my God. Get a little bit of snow on the ground. People forget how to act. Let's not do that. So if you guys ever driven a first gen, like I said, it is so freaking slow. You're just like, this thing's gotta have a clogged cat. But the FA24, like you get on it and you're never like blown away by it, but you're never disappointed, if that makes sense. I'd compare it very similarly to like a 350Z Power, which is good.
That's respectful.
It's respectful. It does the things. It gets out of the way, has enough power that you could really drive these things spiritedly, has the suspension to handle it, you can get out of the way in traffic, and you know what? It's enough power to drift. Don't be mad at me for taking this thing on track. I wanted to get a couple laps in and just, I wanted to have some fun, all right? So, little e-brake drag. There we go. Beat the crap out of it. There we go. There we go, come on. Yeah, we got this. Use the e-brake to finesse it. There we go. There we go up the hill. Hey. It's like just like a stock 240 with more torque. It's so funny, it feels so comparable to like a stock 240 on coilovers. Look at all that salt. These things are awesome. You know what? The factory LSD is so good. That thing has never caught me off guard. Like, come on. I feel like I have a factory 2-way in this thing. It's so good. Alright, it's no 2JZ, but like, it doesn't bore you. That's the big thing. It does not bore you. So the thing is, no one has really given us a affordable rear-wheel drive sports car, really, in years. And so honestly, this is kind of the last thing that we have that could potentially replace the S chassis. So we just got to find out if we can do S chassis things. Oh, it has so much like forward grip. This thing's sick. Let's give it a little e-brake for ease. Hit it. Just tighten up for Manji. Oh! Oh! These things have zero angle stock. Oh my! You can't even like get in the drift pocket. You have to like power through it. Doesn't help that I have 255 tires all around. Oh! Come on, come on! Oh! Come on, come on! This thing would be such a ball on a toge. Like, man, is this like the new Japan toge vehicle?
It kind of gives the same vibes as your white S15.
Yeah, sketchy, and I'm like, the whole time, like just using the handbrake to keep the thing sideways. That would, because these things aren't that super expensive in Japan.
No, they're so cheap in Japan.
It definitely isn't. The first gen, I don't know if it has enough power. I mean, obviously you could always air your tires up and drive faster, but like the drift toge, this one definitely has enough power. Dude, these things get fast, dude. I keep hitting the Siri button on the steering wheel. Dude, like the smallest lock kit would make this car incredible. You want to try it before we get arrested? Come on, try it. It's almost paid off.
I hate this shit. This car is a daily driver. Okay. scares the shit out of me. I'm gonna wreck your car. I can't do this.
It's fun though, right?
No, it's so sick. It's so good, especially for just a stock car. What a day at work, huh?
Yeah. So obviously I can't speak for like Time Attack and autocross guys, but you know, we hear amazing things about these cars doing that discipline of motorsports. But as far as being a drifter, this thing is incredible out the box. Like, like how good is this? Oh, I thought that was a cop. Nope.
Tip to you for free, so don't wait.
Okay, that's a downfall. Honestly, set of coilovers and a simple lock kit, like a GK Tech Bolton lock kit, would make this thing a ball. And we could hope that it'll stay together because it's a modern car. I know we heard about some issues early on with these cars where they put too much RTV on the oil pan and they were sucking RTV up into the pickup pan. This is my first Subaru that I've ever actually worked on. I've actually owned 2 WRXs, which is kind of funny to say. Have our oil pan exposed, and it is now time to drain the oil. I know I didn't explain this too well in the beginning of the video, but essentially what is happening is people are saying that Toyota, Subaru, whoever assembles the damn engines, is over RTVing the engine, which means they're applying too much RTV on the oil pan, the front cover, whatever else is RTV'd. Most of the engine is RTV'd. So what's happening is the excess bits of RTV is going in the oil pan, right? Because everything ends up in the oil pan. And then the tube that sucks it up into the engine is just sucking up the RTV and getting caught in the strainer of it, which is then clogging the engine and causing it to, well, blow up, right? There we go. Look at this little pickup tube. It's straw for the oil pump. Perfect. You can see there's RTV on the right and the left side. Not a lot. A lot of guys have theirs like completely clogged. And plus the sides, if you look, it's like a box, right? So if the back of it's fully covered, it could still get oil through on the side. So that's still pretty nuts though. It's like crazy to see that online and see your car doing it, you know? We did our due diligence, we took our oil pan off, we cleaned the RTV, put it back on, it was simple. And besides that, she's been good to me. So honestly, I think Toyota and Subaru blessed us with this chassis. Never drifted a first gen, and I know a lot of people were complaining about the electric power steering, but obviously stock angle will, obviously having more angle mods will exaggerate it, but the steering feel feels fine to me. So, no complaints there. Oops, broke traction. I almost spun. These things have no angle, dude.
Sorry, officer, my foot slipped.
Sorry, the clutch is so aggressive in this thing, and it's so wet out. All right, one point I forgot to make, and I could talk about this car forever, but I don't want to ramble on, but what I love about this chassis is it feels so analog, right? A lot of these newer cars, you feel so detached from it that like the cars are almost too good now. Like you have some of these newer cars that make 600 horsepower. It doesn't feel fast because it's so planted, but with this car, like it feels like an older car in the best way possible, where the handbrake is still feels it's just a cable driven handbrake. It's not this electric thing that you just go. The shifting feels like a typical.
The trans is sick in this car.
It's sick.
Yeah,
like
it feels really good.
It feels good, but it still feels like mechanically. You know what I mean? Same with the steering. Like the pedal inputs, the pedals are nice and firm. They're not squishy and weird. Like it feels like an early 2000s car, and I mean that in the best way possible, which is probably one of my favorite things about it. It's just so raw. And
I feel like that's what all of us are looking for.
And that's what we're looking for, yeah. With the newer vehicles, I get so sick of that detached feeling. This is, you're in it.
It reminds me of home.
It reminds me of home. So you guys just thought we had a ball with this car. Nothing beats some good old wet drifting. And you can do it in the dry. I've done it in the dry plenty of times. It's so good. And this is completely bone stock. So there's 2 more points I want to make. It's not that I'm trying to sell you a second gen FRS or BRZ, but I just love this car so much and I want to put it out there. But the best thing, what I love about it is, well, the price point is unmatched, right? So brand new, they're like $32,000, which obviously is a lot of money, but compared to what's out there, it's pretty good. Because when do you get a sporty car anymore that's under 40 grand? It's like everything that's fun is 40 grand and up, which is ridiculous. That's so much money, right? 32 grand used. I see these things for like 25, right? You get them for like 25 now with like,
oh yeah, if you're a Facebook Marketplace aficionado.
That's what I'm saying, like 25, 22 for like 20,000 miles on because it just came out. That's the price of a spec SS15, which you have to replace every single part on the car to make a good car. I love them, but it is what it is, and you still have an old ass car.
This is brand new.
This is brand new. You could drive this to work. Just keep oil in it and it's happy. I don't think you get bigger of an S chassis guy than me, but I love the fact that
it's exciting to have a new chassis
to look for. Exactly, because Nissan's not giving it to us. So Toyota and Subaru, thank you guys for giving us some type of platform. Obviously they have their own downfalls here and there, but for what we get out of it, I couldn't be happier. Now the big thing is, I've done my dailying out of it, got from A to B. I don't really drive much because I just drive near my house, so it has 17,000 miles in it, like 2.5 years.
Now that the snows fall, that's kind of taken daily.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put snows on this thing. And the car is finally paid off. The bank doesn't own it anymore. Well, almost. So what do? It's like, do I go? I went to Japan. We saw how ridiculous the part options are for these cars. It is insane. I mean, it helps that underneath it's the same as the first gen, so the parts are going to be made for a long time. But when it comes to aero options, when it comes to upgrades from interior to outside to under the engine bay, it's endless.
The aftermarket support for these chassis is insane.
It's silly because at this point, like, there's a couple brands for the S chassis stuff. There's a couple brands we go to, like, or any of the old Nissan or any of the old Japanese stuff. Like, there's only a few parts left, and then we're all fighting for the same old parts over and over again. And this stuff, it's like everything's new. Just buy the catalog. Like,
you want it, find it online, get it to your house in 2 weeks.
Whatever, like HKS, Blitz, like Cusco, whatever cool brand you want, they just produce the parts. Like, imagine if we could just do that for S-Chassis instead of fighting over the old crusty stuff. What I hate about this thing is I could definitely turn it into a little bit of a drifter while keeping it very dailyable. Maybe a bolt-on angle kit, something light, nothing crazy.
2JZ swap.
No, I'm not swapping it. I kind of want to boost it, but I feel like I'd have to put it on E. I don't know.
Do we cut it up?
No, I'm not cutting it up. Can we boost it? I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. But like, the car, I feel like it doesn't owe me anything anymore.
Now it's time to have some fun with it.
Now it's time to, yeah. Doing the stuff that I would have felt guilty doing to a brand new car. Because now, look, it's an old car now. Fuck. How sick would that car look on a track sideways?
I mean, I've been trying to get you to do it. I think, listen, you guys haven't seen Jim tear this parking lot up when there's a little bit of water or a little bit of snow. It's good to see.
That's why I've left a stock exhaust on it.
It's
because you could just cause a ruckus.
He will act up. Let there be a little bit of snow outside. He will be out there for about an hour before he goes home, just tearing the parking lot.
And it's not because it needs it for the power. It's literally because no noise. So there's no noise and no tire wear.
If you haven't just driven one, I dailied it for a few times. That car's just so fun to drive.
Man, you guys are selling me.
You want one? If Austin buys a CN6 drift car, then I'll drift that. I'm not gonna build another ZN6 to drift. I could just drift that.
It's almost paid off.
I'll keep up with you in this thing. Come on.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, let's party, boys. So we're all going to the track this weekend, which is exciting because I feel like I have not driven at all this year because we've been so freaking busy. We finished the E36 and I've driven it like twice. Lime Rock, and then I did that event in Virginia. Drove amazing in Virginia. I was bullying people bad in this thing. I haven't driven since. So give it a full bolt check. Everything's, of course, we went through the whole car just like we do between every track day. Car's all set. I mean, it's a JZ. You don't usually have to look at them. You look at them and you're like, oh, engine's still there. Good to go. Maybe change oil.
Maybe.
Bro, we'll do 10 days of drifting at Evasu with no oil change. And by like the third day, you're like, nah, just keep going. Like, what we did change was we put in manual brakes. So this always had a brake booster. The booster was really big. It was a pain in the ass to work on a car, and it was inconsistent with this car. I don't know if it was the BMW combo or what, but the brakes never felt stout in this thing. It always drove me nuts. So Chase Bays has their new dual piston booster delete kit, and we have it in the 8.6. Wouldn't even notice in that car, and I was like, oh, maybe because the car's just light and tiny. Then we put it in Tom's hatch, and Tom's super picky. He loves it, so it was an easy persuasion to get me to do manual brakes in this thing. So we get to test those for the first time, so we'll see. I'll let you know if it sucks or not. I hope so. This is also the backup car if anyone else's car breaks. So, Austin, you want to drive this thing? I would love to see you drive this thing.
I would love to drive this thing.
It pisses me off because you'll just hop in any car and I'm like, oh, this is tricky, and you just drift it. And you're like, no, that was easy. And I'm like, also, this is Spoon's first drift event on like a real track. We're going to 7 Point. There's some fast tracks. And so getting to see him to push out of his comfort zone and to see what he can do in this car is super exciting. And it's the first drift event with the car looking super pretty. So
I know, he's so excited to see like pictures of it.
Oh, I know. It's a hard car to miss, so I can imagine there's gonna be some pretty good media with this thing, but we're taking bets now. How many laps until Spoon rips these bumpers off?
2.
2? 2 laps? Rear bumper maybe, because from dirt dropping. But it'll be good. It's gonna force him to get to that next level by having the high speed tracks and with new intricate maneuvers, really shaking the car versus a standard parking lot event. Like, I've been bullying him so much. I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna door you. I'm gonna door you. He's like, stay away from my car. So I'm dooring his ass this week. So just enough. Like I'm gonna leave like a little. It's gonna look like a little Sharpie line, just to let him know.
Right on the orange.
Right on the orange. Just a little line. All right. And I won't dent his door. But I just want to see him all stressed out. The S14 Pro car is almost fully sanded and ready to get, well, a red delete, which is what we've been talking about for a really long time now. So it sucks because the original paint, you see all the clear, it all failed. So we had to take almost all of it off to get this thing smooth again. But do the lower quarters, inside's fully scuffed and ready to go. So when we get back on Monday, we're gonna put this thing in the booth and we're gonna spray everything else with Steeler. So the whole outside will be in gray, the whole inside will be in gray, the car will be fully enclosed. No more bare metal, no more weird colors. And honestly, I'm dying to see how it looks because I think it's gonna rewrite like the whole aura of this car. It's gonna make it feel like way more finished too. That we can get the full interior back in, get everything mocked up. And then it's just a game of mounting reservoirs, mounting pumps, and laying a bunch of, I was gonna say pipe, but tubing, lines. Just connecting everything. Austin was talking a little smack. He said you got 2 laps before you rip a bumper off.
Damn, why you gotta do me like that?
How many laps until Austin rips his bumper off?
His bumper will come right off.
We need a bet then. Whoever bumper comes off first. What does the loser have to do?
Probably a steak dinner. If mine ain't coming off.
Man, I can't afford a steak dinner.
Let us know in the comments, because this will come out when we get to there. Let us know what the loser should have to either buy or do.
No, they're gonna get reckless in the comments.
I know, that's why I love it.
Alright. Give us your best.
It's gonna be me watch now. Like,
oh, you're known for that. Wait, is Tom coming this week?
no, I don't rip my arrow off. Someone else rips my arrow off.
It's gonna be a fun weekend.
It'll be good. Good time. Final season enter.
Yeah.
You can't beat it. And last but not least, I finally get to drive my baby, the purple coupe. I finally feel like I'm in tune with this car. I know I didn't film it, but I did a 235 tire competition at E-Town. It was like 50 drivers qualified first, and I came in third. I wanted to win it so bad, but I felt so in tune with the car and so locked in. I am so excited to drive this thing on a fast technical track. So even before I went to Japan, even in Japan, I'm dreaming about drifting this car.
You're dreaming about this car.
Dude, I love this car. It is incredible. I know you love this car too.
I do too,
This
so much.
Car is incredible. So we're gonna have a ball, but for now we have a lot of prep to do, and I've done enough yapping. So for now, you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content, and we'll see you guys very shortly.